Okay, so notes. You can add notes. You can either add handwritten notes, which is easier on the iPad when you're using like an Apple Pencil or a tablet with a stylus. But on the computer, it's hard. On the phone, you're using your finger. But what you can do is you can tap on this little paintbrush here. You choose blue, red, or any color you want. When you tap on here, you can change the thickness, the opacity, stuff like that. With this, you can circle certain parts. You can cross out certain verses or certain parts if you don't want to. You can erase all of that. You can undo it. You can erase specific parts and keep certain parts. Yeah, so there's all kinds of stuff that you can do with that, with the little paintbrush here. Another thing you can do is you can add inline notes. An inline note is a note that will sit here on top of the song, at the beginning of the song. So for this part here, you could write organ intro, and then things like that. And what it'll do is it will save it right here, just as a note. You can always go in there and you can adjust it. Another thing you can do is you can add an overlay note. So what that looks like, I'll actually do it with a different song. I'll go to this one here, and an overlay is one where you can, actually let me choose a different one here. Okay, so right here, if I wanted to add an overlay note, I would just choose overlay, and what that looks like is this. You would add a scripture. You could also add the verse if you wanted to, and what would happen is when you go to this song in a set list, then it shows as an overlay, which is pretty nice. It's just stays there until you tap. So you can also have it open up and then it goes away after a few seconds. But those are notes, overlay versus drawing versus inline notes. Something that I like to do is I like to have a note for each song. I like to do the inline notes because that way they're on the song. You can see them all the time. But something I like to do is write the original. The original is in the key of, let's say, F, which means that you would capo 5, and then and you play it in C. And then I like to sing it in the key of C. So the original is in the key of F. I like to sing it in the key of C, and that way those notes are always there. And if I wanted to, then I could, if I'm playing along with them, I would put it in the key of F. I would capo on 5, and then it lets me play these chords that I'm a little more familiar with, as opposed to like an A sharp, B flat, and then there's other chords that maybe I'm just not as comfortable playing. So and then when I want to play it for myself to sing, I would just put it in the key of C, and then it would change the whole thing. So those are some things that you can do with notes, which are nice.